Hello everyone, you join us here in this Volvo V60 Polestar engineered. Very cool car, but definitely check out our full tour review for that. In this video, I want to talk about this new Volvo UX software update that's been made available to all of the more modern Volvos with the Android-based infotainment system. Now, before we hop into this video, I do want to mention if you have the Sensus-based information system. Now, the Sensus-based information system does not look like this. It didn't look like the Android system. Well, it kind of did a little bit, but it has a totally different digital gauge cluster that cannot look like this ever. So if you have a different looking cluster with circle gauges there, you can't really update to the system at all. You have to get a new car. Otherwise, if you have the Android-based systems, I believe it's like 2020, late 2022 or 2023 up to present, you can get this software update. And what it is an over-the-air software update, and I can confirm this by going to our settings over here in our infotainment screen over here. And it is a pretty hefty software update from Volvo that completely changes the entire operating system. It's called 5.0.5. You can see current version 5.0.5. If we press our release notes right here, it's going to show us the full actual detailed information of this software update, which is called the Volvo Car UX or user experience. And it does completely reskin this whole screen over here and kind of mildly updates this digital cluster up there. And I will walk you through this whole thing as a former Volvo owner and formerly working at a Volvo dealer. So I have a little bit of some insight into how all this stuff works in this vehicle here. So up front in your driver cockpit zone over here, we're going to notice that this is a little bit different than the before. The map is still in the center as it was, but these gauge clusters have been redesigned on the side corners. It's a little bit of a funky look and design here, but overall the functionality is completely identically the same. It's just a visual change. Left hand side, we have our speedometer there. Right hand side, our gear selectors, as well as our power charge, depending on what kind of vehicle you have. This is a plug-in hybrid, so we have our battery level there as well as our gas level. And this little fuel icon will move up and down, and that really will tell you when the engine will turn on when you're using electric power only. It's kind of a cool little function right there. Now, you can turn off this map display just simply by pressing this button right there, and you can turn it back on just like that. Or if you go into reverse, for example, the map will also turn off. I think it's a little bit of a safety feature that Volvo does do. Now, you can also access your trip computer still by pressing this little button right there. So press the little center button on the right hand side of your steering wheel. Should bring up your trip computer, and all of your pilot assist functions should still work the same. Nothing has really changed there. We have our trip information there and fuel economy, which we can change via this infotainment screen over here to be auto or manual as well. So we'll go into that in just a second. Now, obviously, the rest of the interior is totally the same. This is really just a software update here. So let's go into this real quickly here. You still get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. We'll go into that setup in just a little bit, but I want to talk about what's new with this whole system because it is completely different. Before, we had those little sliders across those kind of horizontal bars that you could slide or kind of reconfigure, and that would be the way you would access a lot of things in the system. There was a few different buried menus that got to your settings. Apps were a little bit confusing in my opinion, and I experienced that system. I lived with it for a while. So this is a very big change, and I've noticed off the bat that the responsiveness is quicker. Just from a software update is much quicker than my old system, and it's much more similar to the newer updated systems we see in the 25.5 XC90 and the latest XC60 with the facelifted versions that have a little bit of a larger screen. I think that's a good thing. I like that Volvo is keeping their older cars updated via over-the-air software updates. And to check to see if your car is eligible, all you have to do is go to settings here, go to system settings if you have the Google-based system, and you can scroll down to software updates, and it should tell you if there is a system update or not. You can confirm or deny it depending on what you want, but I would personally just get it just for security reasons as well. All these software updates come with some additional security features built into them. Now, this is your new home screen right here. Your home screen is a Google mapping system. You have this widget bar right here and a whole bunch of quick access icons and your fixed climate controls. Now, this little widget bar here where it says quick access to Apple CarPlay or phone, you can make go away by pressing this button there. So now that expands your map system. If you have Google Maps up here, which is pretty nice to see, you can make it reappear just like that as well, which is nice. The Google Map system is very quick, very responsive as well, and works just as as we would expect. You can sign into your account on the right if you want. There's a whole bunch of settings here. If you have an EV, you can help to find a charger. And up front, on top here, we're going to have the icons to change our driver profiles. You can lock the profile, connect it to your app, connect different keys to it. It's pretty quite in-depth actually now, and I think it works rather well. Notification bar up here, and we have some connectivity information on the top right. And of course, on the lower section down here, we always will have our climate settings here. So quick access to change our heated seats, temperature adjustment when your climate's on. Same thing for the passenger over here, which is nice. You can just see this is a lot quicker to me, to my eyes, than it was previously. I think this is a big update here. So our climate screen itself is pretty crystal clear and easy to use as well. And what I like is that this screen has always been pretty close to where your hand sits on the wheel, and you don't really have to reach too far to make all these adjustments. So we have our different directional adjustments on the left-hand side over here for your defog or all this other stuff. And we have some quick access buttons here. You can see animations that is on or not, with manual adjustment here if you don't want auto, and you can quickly turn your climate systems off by pressing this little button there, which is nice. We even have an air quality sensor depending on what kind of Volvo you have. You may or may not have this, but you have an air quality sensor as well. We have timers over here, which is great if you want to do some preconditioning setup stuff there, and you have even more settings here. So if you hop into the vehicle, you can instantly turn on your heated seat or heated steering wheel, or if you have cooled seats in your particular Volvo, same thing, all of that stuff there, which works really great. So climate systems, I think, are pretty good. I don't really have an issue with that. Some other great stuff about this is our app drawer. It's pretty easily accessible now on the bottom left side. All your apps right here, really easy to access. You can download more apps from the Google Play Store if you sign in with your Google account. And if you can't figure out your car, your user manual is built into here, so you can search for pretty much anything you need to find. And the speech to text functionalities in this car are pretty good, as it uses the Google-based assistant here. So I could just tap this, say, turn off my heated seat.
All right, turning off the seat heater for the driver.
Find me the nearest Dunkin' Donuts.
There's a Dunkin' 0.7 miles away. Navigate to that one?
Yes. So all of this stuff and routing information is really, really quick, easy with the Google Assistant. You can just activate it by that, pressing it, touching the steering wheel button, all that's fun stuff. So it's really simple and easy to use. No complaints there. And they also really improved the drive mode functionality of these vehicles. So originally, way back when, we had a scroll wheel over here. If you have a Volvo that has a scroll wheel for your drive mode, you're not going to be able to get this update. I can tell you that right now. But on again, the Android-based softwares, Google-based softwares, we have a drive mode button now. So you just quickly press that, and since we have the plug-in hybrid here for this V60 Polestar engineered, we have quite a lot of options in here. So we have our hybrid, our Polestar mode, pure electric mode, which makes it rear-wheel drive in this vehicle, fixed all-wheel drive. You can always start it in electric mode, control our battery usage here, as well as steering feel from soft to firm, and our creep mode in traffic. Now, if you have a regular gas Volvo, you're not going to have too many drive modes here, but maybe just your steering feel, for example. But in the plug-in hybrids, you get a lot more options because there's a lot more stuff going on with this powertrain system, and I like how easily accessible that is right there. We also have a 360 camera function over here, which has been reskinned, thankfully. I think this is a much better screen for this system. We have our front view cameras here, side views as well, 360 view, rear view, and we can quickly turn off our emergency rear braking and parking sensors and adjust the parking sensor volume from the screen as well, which is nice, quick, and easy. They also reformatted the whole settings layout screen here. So this is way better than it was before. I thought the settings layout system before, it kind of looked like, if we go into system here, it all just looked like this. There's a whole bunch of just different menus like this. I thought it was a little bit confusing. Now we have it divided into these quick access controls. So if you need to quickly fold down your rear headrest, turn on or off your lane keep assist, adjust the interior brightness levels, turn the creep on or off, it's all right there for you. Really easy. Going straight to your settings menu, it's much more easily divided now as well for driving. It's pretty simple to hop in here. You can see all your modes. You can adjust safety assist systems here. You have built-in controls as well. So if you hop into here, you can change all of your lighting controls really easily here. Same thing with our locking controls. It's all a little bit more intuitive and easier to use than before. You can even adjust your passenger seat. So if I turn that on, I could use my seat controls to adjust the front passenger seat, as you can see right here, which is kind of a fun function. But otherwise, all of the functions in this screen are largely the same, just kind of reskinned a little bit. If you have your higher end Bowers and Wilkins system, this screen's very familiar to all of you guys, and this is very pretty much identical to how it was before, just a little bit reskinned. You have all your different haul modes, for example, and all of your settings there. And of course, connectivity systems, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, profile controls, as we just saw that display over there. It's a pretty basic system. I don't think it's really overwhelming at all. There's really not a lot to it, which honestly is a good thing. Some things with diagnostics, tire pressures, you still have all of that same stuff here, just in a little bit of an easier view format. And of course, we still retain some physical buttons here, as in all Volvos are defog buttons, or giant volume knob over here, for example. That all still works there, and all the steering wheel buttons still operate in the same exact function as they did before. But what is new, that really is completely a little bit different, is how the Apple CarPlay functionality works. Now, of course, to connect Apple CarPlay in your Volvo, unfortunately, in these more older-ish models, well, this really is not old. Actually, the 2025 and 2026 XC90s, I believe, still have wired Apple CarPlay. You do have to use a cable. So I have to go down to my center console area over here, and we're going to open this up, and I have a whole bunch of stuff in here, but I have a cable plugged into our white outlet right there. It has to be the white outlet, not the non-white one, because that's the one that has the connectivity. I'm going to plug it into my phone here, one-handed, and now I have to, well, I have it set up where I have to access this every single time. So now that my phone is connected, we will actually have Apple CarPlay connectivity. So on the screen over here, we can see Apple CarPlay pops up. Now it will show you our latest music that was playing right here, as well as a quick access to CarPlay. Just as before, I can make that go away, and it kind of condenses into this little bubble over here. You can press that, it will open up our Apple CarPlay system here. Now, what is different than before is that it is smaller. You have this bar here that's always going to be fixed, which I wish they could have the ability to just like swipe down a little bit. Some Apple CarPlays and some models of different manufacturers have a little expand icon that can kind of push it out just a little bit. I'm curious to see if they could do that over another software update. I think that would be a huge feature, and I heard a lot of all the complaints online from all y'all that this is a little annoying. So that's probably something they could do in a software update down the road. But for right now, this is your CarPlay. The good thing about this is, other than it, well, being wired is just a little sometimes frustrating, is that I don't really have any connectivity issues over wireless CarPlay, and it's actually really quick on the screen, like way quicker than it was before. My own system, I remember, was a little bit on the laggy side. I don't have that problem here, and everything else of the system works really well. And the great part about this is that now you have the ability to use this digital cluster for other mapping systems. So if you are a Waze map user here, I could say, hey Siri, find me the nearest Dunkin' Donuts using Waze.
Dunkin' on Central Park Avenue in Yonkers, less than a mile to your south.
Okay, so that actually pulled it up in the Apple Maps. So typically that works, but you can see when I press go on the Apple mapping system here, it should send it over to our digital cluster. It does just right there. So now we have the Apple Map system up on our digital cluster there. And if you don't want it to be in this expanded view here, all you have to do is just go to a different app in your Apple Maps here, and that will then go to a driving view on there. But the second you go into the mapping system here, it will kind of prioritize that screen versus that one. Apple Maps has always done that, but just to show you guys as well, the Waze app in the native Apple Map system also does work just as easily, for example. So if I use Waze, it will actually pop up in here as well, which is really great and crystal clear. And just like before, you can turn on and off these mapping systems really easily via that button there. And you can always go home as well. As you can get out of the Apple CarPlay, you always press this home button, which is really great. And one thing I've learned though, if I am, let's say I'm in my menu right here to adjust this stuff here, and then I press to go home, it's going to go home and cancel out Apple CarPlay, for example. So if you want to just go to the settings, get out, make sure you press that button and don't go home. For whatever reason, home will always default to the Volvo home setting, not Apple CarPlay. Some other manufacturers, a home button when you're active in Apple CarPlay actually defaults to the Apple CarPlay, not the main system. But I guess Volvo did this just to make it a little bit more focused on their own system versus Apple CarPlay. Now, if you want to clean the screen, for example, and stuff's moving all around, all you got to do is hold this button here just for a little bit. Now screen cleaning mode is active, as you can see, so you can get all of those fingerprints off really easily. And to deactivate, you just hold the button once again. and that should bring it at a screen cleaning mode. Now this button also functions as a soft reset functionality, so if your screen's acting up or something in the car is acting up, you hold this down literally until it shuts off completely, until the Volvo logo comes back on. Let go and it will reset the system in a soft reset function. There's a hard reset function built into the settings. Don't use that unless you really need to. This usually clears up a lot of bugs that I've noticed in some previous situations. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed this quick overview of this new Volvo UX system we have in this 2025 V60 Polestar. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them down in the comment section below. Volvo also has some really great tutorials of how to figure out the system if it's a little confusing to you on their website, so definitely check those out. But otherwise, thank you guys for joining us on yet another video at Allcarnews, and stay tuned for more coming soon. Cheers.